Hello YouTube, welcome back to Assetto Corsa, and today I'm going to be looking at the Porsche Cayman GT4. So not the GT4 Club Sport, which is what we looked at last week, which was a race car. This is the road going variant, and I'm going to say this right at the beginning. This car is the best Porsche I've driven so far. Definitely the best Cayman. It is so nice to drive, and honestly, if I could own one of these, and I can't because one, they're all sold, and two, they're really expensive, and three, I don't know where I'd park it. But if I could, this is a car I would own. It's that good. I don't need a 918 hybrid that can do 200 and whatnot miles an hour. I don't need a 911 GT3 RS for a number of reasons. One, because this car, in my opinion, is just as good. It may not be as quick, it may have a few little tweak issues here and there, but it's just as good in my opinion as a GT3 RS. For one reason, it's got a manual gearbox. It's got a manual gearbox, 6-speed manual gearbox, instead of a paddle shifter with a PDK. Yes, it does affect the 0 to 60. 0 to 60 is 4.4 seconds. I'm sure with the PDK it'd be 4.2 seconds. But you know what? What's 0.2 of a second in a car? If you've got a manual gearbox, you've got a gear stick, you've got 6 gears, you can play around, you've got control over the car. That is what I like. The car weighs 1,340 kilograms. It's slightly heavier than the Club Sport edition by about 40 kilos, but of course, it's a road car. It's got all the road features on it. It doesn't have a roll cage. It doesn't have all those things. Nothing's been stripped out. There's obviously sound deadening and everything in the car. You need that for it to meet all the regulations. 40 kilos, again, it would be a big deal if this car wasn't so good. Power, 385 bhp, which makes it more powerful than entry-level 911s. Which is, again, quite interesting, and it does make it the most powerful Cayman to date. Of course, it's the same power as the Club Sport edition, but it does make it the most powerful Cayman to date. Power is at about, maximum power is about 7,500 RPM. I think the red line is 7,800 RPM, so, you know, it's very close to its red line. Torque is 420 Newton meters of torque, so there's plenty of torque in this engine. That comes in at about 6,000 RPM, which is also where the power curve starts going from a linear band to sort of curving and bending over, so reducing its power, which is kind of normal, but this car is special. It's a really special car. Top speed 183 miles per hour. That's nothing to laugh at. It's an incredibly great top speed, but of course this car is designed for performance. This car is designed for going around a track, so really it's the handling that's really important on it. 3.8 litre flat 6 engine taken out of a Porsche 911 Carrera S. We tried the Carrera S. I said I liked that engine. I liked how it felt. I liked how responsive it was. Well, you know what? In a car like this, which is mid-engined, it's inherently balanced. It's just better. It's even better than the Carrera S. Another thing that's taken out of a 911, front suspension's taken off a GT3 RS, I think. GT3 or GT3 RS, you've got the front suspension taken off that, so you've got incredible precision, very agile turning. This car responds very quickly. We'll get into more about the driving dynamics in a bit. I'm just trying to figure out if I've forgotten any specs. I don't think I have. Top speed done, torque and power done, weight done, gearbox, yeah, rear wheel drive, and of course I've mentioned it's mid-engine, but rear wheel drive, which means that you can have a bit of fun with it. So going on to what it's like in Assetto Corsa, modeling and texturing, we don't really have to talk about this. Again and again, it seems that Kunos just do a fantastic job with it, and this is no exception. It looks great. I love the suede steering wheel. I love the accents in the car, the little yellow. I've switched traction control off. We're about to get we're about to get into some very nice driving. Everything looks great inside and out, and personally I think this car looks really nice. I was never a fan of the Boxster, the 718s. For a long time I was not a fan of them. This one though looks very nice. So we've got that modeling and texturing out of the way. We don't really ever need to talk about that. Sounds, I've got to admit, it sounds good. Both inside and out sound really, really nice. The engine's got this growl, but it's only when you're going flat out. If you're driving very calmly, not pushing on the accelerator too hard, it's more of a light whirring noise. It doesn't want, it's like, you know, just waiting. It's like waiting to be pushed, waiting for you to put your foot hard down. And it's sort of purring, a bit like a cat in a way, you know, and then it starts roaring when you start pushing. When you really start pushing, it starts roaring, and it's fun. I do like the sounds on this car. I think they're very, very nicely done. Again, there's still always room for improvement on sounds. That's the one thing Kunos always have room for improvement on. It's sounds. They do need to still work on sounds here and there. But the main part about this car, driving. What is it like to drive? Well, I'm going to say first thing is, it's so agile. The car is incredibly agile. You flick the steering wheel and it just turns. It really does turn, and it did catch me out at first how agile this car was. That being said though, after a while I started getting used to it, and I started feeling a little bit of understeer in the car. Now I think that the rear tires maybe have a little bit too much grip, and the front tires just not enough grip. I'm sure you can sort it out by playing around with the setup. Anti-roll bar changes, I'm sure we'll sort that out. If you just soften up the front or harden up the rear, one or the other should do the trick. Maybe play around with the tires just slightly. I think that's all you really need to do to get this car going absolutely brilliantly. That being said, when you do get the front gripping through a corner, you just give it a little bit extra throttle and out comes the rear end. It just starts sliding, and it's really nice. I don't power slide cars in this for two reasons. One, I'm not brilliant at power sliding, and two, due to my setup, it may be my setup that partially contributes to this, but due to the setup I can't generally power slide these cars because the head tracking goes weird when I'm looking around, and the way I'm shuffling with the steering wheel, everything goes a bit strange, so I generally don't power slide cars. But this car can take power slides really, really easily, and it's fun to power slide. I did a couple, probably not in this video I don't think, but I did a couple, and it's fun to power slide. The car itself, because it's a rear wheel drive, it can break the back wheels like I said, but because it's a mid-engine as opposed to the rear engine, it's more balanced than a 911. It really has more balance. Downsides of this car is the tall gear ratios. I'm not a fan of the gear ratios. I'm thinking Porsche did this on purpose so that it wouldn't show up a 911 across the board. But apart from that, it's an incredible machine. Genuinely enjoyable. If you can switch traction control off, do a few laps with traction control on, get used to it, then just switch it off and just let the car do what it needs to do. Be steady on the throttle. You can get this car trail braking to break the rear axle loose. It's very easy to do. Just jam on the brakes, especially coming into something like a downhill corner like that. Is it Hawthorne or something? I don't know what that one's called. If you can bring it down that and hit the brakes, it'll just slide around very, very nicely. This car for me is a 10 out of 10. I really think this is a 10 out of 10. So far, this is my favorite car in the pack. So, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Assetto Corsa. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think of the Porsche 718 Cayman GT4. Like I said, I think it's brilliant. But hey, everyone has their own opinion, and I want to hear yours. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode of Assetto Corsa.